strange hearing your own voice.
Is it? In silence, right?
It's alright. I don't mind. My northern dulcet tones.
It's Podmatic Brandcast.
The Podmatic Brandcast.
The Podmatic Brandcast, right? I mean, Brandcast, I think, be calling it Brandcast for me, because obviously that's the product, is called Brandcast. So I thought in presenting it to the world to add it in the title, because for the longest time I've actually been thinking, oh man, what do I call the Podmatic podcast? When I was thinking about it before, and I was like, what am I about? I need to put my headphones on. Guys, listen. This here is the Podmatic Brandcast. Anything can happen. It's not formal. It'll be it'll be slightly different from the ones that I've previously done, where it's like interview style and that kind of thing. But if I could just give me a second. Yeah.
There we go.
Back. Do you think that's better?
Sounds good to
I
me.
think that smells better.
Silky smooth voice.
With the Brandcast, right? With David over here.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was saying, I had a couple in here. They're a creative couple. I think their business is S2 Pictures, Sheffield.
Right. Okay.
Interestingly enough, I'm from Sheffield.
Oh yeah.
I was raised in Sheffield. Came to Leeds for university. They just never left these ends, and then lived in Leeds for a while, and then ended up in Dewsbury, is where I live now, and my business is in Wakefield. So like West Yorkshire has got has got a grip on me. But so I was having a word with them, and we're just discussing the various aspects of my business, what I do, how I have kind of structured the business to be able to do end-to-end level work, from the planning, strategy, to the production, pre-production, post-production. So I just explained to them my process, how I approach, I really value kind of client consultations, because it gives me the opportunity to get to know the client first, and then that way I can sort of guide them in which direction they can go with their content. So I was telling you a little bit about Brandcast, right? Yeah. And I was saying, with Brandcast, it doesn't have to be of your brand necessarily, right? Or rather, it doesn't have to be directly about your brand. It can be something that is associated to your brand that you make happen. Does that make sense? Well, the whole point of it is to engage people. So you find ways that are aligned with your values, aligned with your brand. We put something together, and we're understanding that the whole point of doing that is to bring engagement, is to get a message out there, and also to emphasize to people what your brand is about. When I was telling you about Red Bull earlier, there's something that you said that was quite pertinent. You said to me adrenaline. I was like, oh my God, I never thought of it. All I was thinking is Daredevil, I was thinking Formula One, but it never clicked to say adrenaline. And then obviously adrenaline, the energy drink, it increases your energy. So they've thought it. So I was like, oh right, this is why they do all the Daredevil stuff. But until you said it today, I wasn't really looking at it that way. I knew they always do, like, they sponsor things and attach it to their brand. So now they're known as this risky kind of Daredevil, adrenaline filled brand.
They don't sponsor a chess game, do they?
I know, right? Because really, if we think about it, what would Red Bull be if it wasn't for the sponsorships? What would you associate it to? It's sugar water.
Yeah, it's a sticky red drink, isn't it?
I know, right? A sticky red drink.
It's just full of shit. Lucozade with more sugar.
I know, right? So, nice. It's very interesting with that. I think we'll be having fun of it, discovering the product and how to create it in such a way that it actually makes a difference to businesses, has an impact on them, and that kind of thing. And hence why I wanted you to come onto this Brandcast, David, because you have an ever-evolving brand.
Well done, very good.
All right? Oh, cheesy.
But that's all right. It's probably one of mine, so it's all right.
Go on then. Tell us a little bit about Evolve Digital. Evolve Your Digital, rather.
Evolve Your Digital, yeah. So myself and my business partner started in June 22. Prior to this, we were working I was a consultant in the digital space, so I'd go into businesses and help them launch digital strategies, etc. And then if I ever saw the website, Dan would build it on the side for me. So We had a working relationship. We've been friends for 15 years, and we had a working relationship for 5-6 years already. And we were just both at a point in our lives where we were like, do you know what? There's a bit more to life than what we're doing at the moment. So we really enjoyed working together, and we just decided to do a day a week just to see how it would go. And then we fully launched Evolve in January 23, and we haven't looked back, So we're slightly different, I think, to your typical website business. I think with us both having different backgrounds, mine's in business development, digital transition, digital business development, all that sort of stuff, client journey, and the front of house sales and things like that. And Dan's very much process driven and efficiency led. So we're not typical web developers.
Okay.
So we actually, we're here to we develop businesses digitally, and that's kind of our new strapline. Yeah.
There you go.
We've got. Please don't visit our website just yet.
It's
under reconstruction. Yeah. So
under reconstruction.
It's under reconstruction because we decided to take it down because we wanted to have a fresh feel to the journey. It's been up 2 years, and that falls in quite nicely with an offering that we've got at the moment, but we believe every sort of 2 years is generally when people start looking at refreshing their site, or at least doing something to it, because software changes, tech changes, Google changes, everything sort of in the digital space changes, everything moves so fast. So we've decided to just put a little holding page up there with my email address. But like they say, every builder's house is a mess. The builders don't get things finished, so we haven't had time to do it in the last 2 years because we've had, like I said, we've signed over 40 clients in 2 years. We've been nominated for 2 awards, as have you, my friend.
I have.
Yes,
thank you so much. We are award nominees.
We are actually finalists in the same category.
I know, right? This is what I say. How are we here? This is my nemesis right here, and I've got him here having a chat with me. What are we doing, right?
Yeah, he's just going to slur us on the internet now.
I'm going to edit this to my advantage, right? No, listen, Dave, man. Like, we've been, the interesting bit of it is we've been connecting and speaking before the awards were even mentioned.
Oh, yeah, completely.
When we were working with the chamber, meeting at events at my conference, and a couple of things. I remember when you came to visit Podmatic, I was kind of telling you a little bit about the vision of the business, and then you were imparting some wisdom on me as well, because funny enough, I am in a similar process as you. I am in the process of reconstructing my website, actually reconstructing our entire product line, and just honing in on 3 main ones, because I realized that for me, my target demographic is small businesses, small to medium businesses, solopreneurs, people with small budgets, small teams, and things like that. We do work with the bigger guys as well, but there's a main focus on individuals building brands, right, and kind of helping them to give them a voice out there, figuring out ways in which they can bring more engagement through their own voice, right? And that means different things. But I remember speaking to you on the day that you came. I was telling you about the website that I'm looking to do, that some of the things that I'm thinking. I feel like you brought some soberness to the proceedings, where you were able to kind of tell me some things I felt like it was the science of how some of it works, how to kind of convey it to people, what to put. And I found that really, really beneficial. Actually, like, it was really useful, so much so that I just went to rethink all aspects of my business, to be like, what can I do to really make the message, to drive the point home of what we do, to hone in, so that we can kind of laser in, focus on our actual target market, as opposed to having this thing where we're trying to reach out to everybody.
And I think at the time it was talking about value. I think it was value perception, wasn't it? And there's a whole piece on value perception, and the fact that it isn't what you think you're giving that's the value. It's how that person perceives what you're putting across. So you might say, look, you've got this brilliant outfit here in Wakefield, it's fantastic, your pod room, it's amazing. So, but to somebody else, you've got this interchangeable space and this, that and the other, and somebody else might think, like me, they might think this is incredible. And then somebody might walk in and go, well, it's not quite what I was expecting. So
it doesn't have this.
Or it doesn't have that. Or you might say, well, actually, I spent a lot more time on this project just for you. And they go, well, isn't that normally what you've done? Or what you do? And it's such a strange thing. But it's about, as you say, everything has a journey. So if a customer lands on your website, or even on any social marketing or however your marketing is formed, it has to be formed around that person you're speaking to.
Absolutely.
So then, if you try and get a website where you just throw a load of stuff onto a homepage because you think it's the right thing to say to the customers when they land on it, it's going to be ineffective.
Right.
Because if you say there, like your target market is SME, even though you do deal with bigger businesses, your site should be set up as SME with a little bit that talks about working with the larger companies, because that's what you do as a company. Not, we deal with every size business, but these are all our SME customers. You know, it gives a really poor, it gives a blended or confusing message.
Yeah, I do agree with it. Sorry, go on.
No, it's all right. So
Yeah.
I was just going to say that the guidance part of it and the customer, it's like a digital high street or a digital shop. You know, at the end of the day, you're walking through the door, you're going to the right department of, like, say you want some shoes or some jeans.
Yeah.
You walk through the shop, you pass all the other departments, and you get to the shoes bit or the jeans bit. So as long as you know where the shoes and the jeans are, then you'll take that journey. But if you walk into a store with no signposts,
then
you're like, how do I find the shoes and the jeans? And you go around through the menswear, women's wear, whatever, baby wear, whatever. Yeah. So it's the same with digital, you know, and it's probably more important to have a quick, short message that then guides those people, because
to where they're going to go.
Yeah, because if it takes too long, they'll click off.
They'll go somewhere else. Yeah, and to find the value. I mean, it's interesting because I was having a similar conversation with the youngs, and they were saying, you know, you can't create your business to be like an all-size-fits-all model, because people are different. And this is why now I'm more sort of brand focused, whether it's the business, service or product brand, or the personal brand to nourish that. And so I'll be kind of putting that more in my wording, in my messaging, and giving clarity, because we go to a lot of networking events. I've had businesses, sometimes I tell them I do podcasting, and some people just say, oh, I don't need a podcast, right? Yeah. So I was like, and I've had that quite a bit. To me, as you said, I perceive the value that I bring to be amazing. I'm like, look, we've got interchangeable sets, and we've got microphones galore, and
it's a very good set.
Those leather seats. But then you were so right in that the things that you think I benefit to, or the things that I benefit to you, may not necessarily be to somebody else, to a person that might even find it intimidating, right? Yeah. And that's part of the reason why I've kind of shortened it to say long form and short form, because I've realized, like, with my kind of target market, you usually get people that are either looking for the longer form content, or some just want the short form snippets. Others only want voice, right? They don't want to be bombarded with all these other stuff. So by separating it, I think, as you said, it gives clarity. Jeans, T-shirt, jacket. Which one are you looking for?
Which one are you looking for?
If you go for the jacket section, we'll give you all the options of what that is. If you go to the T-shirt section, we'll give you an option. However, you know, that T-shirt might go well with those jeans.
Together, but that's the cross-selling capability, which happens in the right department though. Yes. So if you try and cross-sell too early, you'll get a confused journey. But if you're also in one part of the business, so for example, you might do the voice bit first, and the person might feel uncomfortable being filmed. So what you do though is in the voice bit, you say, look, you know, this is how we work with voice, give some examples of voiceovers and things like that. But then actually you show a video of the same voiceover, and actually that person then goes, oh, that does look quite good actually. Absolutely. Rather than it being, here's the full visual audio experience. What do you think of this? With all the lights and everything else, and it's over-facing, like you say. But if somebody then, at their own pace, they've got their own, in a sales journey, you've got your own process.
Absolutely.
So there's boxes. The easiest way to explain it is whenever somebody goes anywhere, they've got boxes to tick. So in their head, they've already got preconceived boxes. So they're like, right, actually, do you know what? If I go here, the quicker I get these boxes ticked for the thing I'm looking for, the quicker I will convert that lead, or I will buy what I'm going to do, or I will contact that customer, or whatever. So if you're not ticking those boxes with anything you're doing, you won't convert the lead. Yeah. So short, sharp information at a high level to start with. Then it can click in. You can click in and go through to the next phase. So you might buy your shoes, and then go, actually, do you know what? Those jeans do look nice.
Absolutely.
I'll have a look at them. Oh, what style of jeans are they? Oh my goodness, there's like 5 different ways. There's 5 different types. But I'll choose that type of jeans. I'll have a look at that. Oh, there's different colours. And you're taking them down that journey though. But it's at the time that they're ready to accept that information. You're not forcing it on them to start with.
too much. You're bombarding them. It reminds me like when I used to buy a lot of clothes like early on. I think in my 20s, I would buy clothes all the time, and I'd go for one thing, River Island. Like, maybe I just want a shirt, but I can't just come out with a shirt. I need some jeans to go with it. And now that I've got those jeans, I need some shoes. But then in my mind, I convinced myself to only go for the shirt. For that one item. And it's interesting. I had a client in here. We had a really good one-to-one together, and she was talking about what she wants to do with her brand. She's an interior stylist as well as interior designer. And when she came, she was telling me how she needed to do a video for an awards show, and they asked her to do a 10-minute video that she found to be very daunting because she felt to herself, nah, video is not for her. She didn't want to be on the video. She didn't like how she sounded or how she looked, and she was really nervous about it. So
that's also a long time to be on camera as well.
I know, right? For 10 minutes, right? Wow. It sounds like a lot, but for me, I'm like, oh man, I could be here 2 hours. But anyway, so she went to this space where she said, the space was kind of a little bit dingy and dark. However, the person that was doing the work for her was really guiding her through and asking, look, do you need me to be in the room? Or I come out. Anyway, long story short is she ended up doing that video, right? And she felt like, even though she was under duress, she did it. After it came out, she was really happy with it. And then she goes, once she got going, it was like a light bulb moment. She was like, oh my God. It was exhilarating to her. So after that, took that video, she was like, she decided in her brain that she wanted to do more work. And when she was coming to me, she was literally telling me that story of how it came from a place where she would, had she not done that 10-minute video, she wouldn't have come to see me for work. But then whatever it was telling her it wouldn't work out was actually wrong, because she realized that there's so much more that she could do. So when she came, we're discussing the brandcast of how we can do her brand. I was telling her how she can have some guests on. I was like, think about your guests, think about how you want it to look, because that's something that I do as well. Think about how you want us to present it. And I said, anything that I can do to make it your own, I will do. Bring some stuff, bring some pillows, bring some pillow covers, bring whatever, candles, whatever it is that is going to make it yours. That's exactly what I want to do. But as we were talking, she was telling me her vision and everything she wanted to do. Guess what? Everything she was saying was in the notes that I'd been preparing 3 days ago, writing about this product called the brand. She couldn't believe it. She was just reading. She's like, oh my God. And then, we speak about this one item. Before you know it, she's discussing, and then I think what I might also want to do is voiceover, because I can make a voice product, and then also the shots. I think that could be good. Before you know it, she's like discussing the different elements in the studio.
That brings it back to the value perception. So she's seen, firstly, she stepped outside her comfort zone, and everybody knows if you step outside your comfort zone, that's where development or growth happens. So she's obviously come outside of her comfort zone, discovered something that she didn't think she would be very good at, but actually turns out that she thoroughly enjoyed watching back, or maybe not filming it the very first time. But then again, that perceiving the value of what you offer here at Podmatic, it's understanding that it isn't just about making a podcast. That can be deemed as like, well, got to be as good as Peter Crouch, or you've got a Diary of a CEO, or whatever. It's not that. It's now easier to create a personal brand than ever before, and so much so. Looking at the charts, I think I saw something the other day that I think there has only been one band at number one since 2021.
No,
I think it was Little Mix.
Is it Oasis?
No, I think it's Little Mix.
Really? Okay.
Because it was Richard, I can't remember his name, the tall chap off the game show in the evening. He is an absolute genius, but he knows all these statistics and stuff. And it was a like an interview with him, and it was like, but it's because it's so easy to personally brand the artist as opposed to having a band which is slightly, a bit rogue or whatever, and not portraying a good image if they're all doing whatever, going off and doing whatever. And it's mental because bands make amazing music, but there hasn't, I think it was something like 2021, 2022, there hasn't been a number one. And so personal branding is at its peak.
It's absolutely integral.
Yeah, so things like this now, it's so easy with social media. Like we're both on LinkedIn, we're both quite active on LinkedIn. And but the more active you are, the more interactions you get, and the more
people get curious, people reaching out. No, LinkedIn has been a godsend. for me in terms of showcasing what I'm doing, especially as a young business. We only started early this year and things like that. People like yourselves, you're talking about being an advocate. I think you've been an absolute advocate to me, and I have felt the care and the love. And it's like we met only earlier in the year, and I was speaking to my wife. I was like, man, people like David and other people that have just shown me a level of support, even a level of mentorship. I'll go as far as saying, and that level of care is like, man, it does something to you, because this journey is not an easy journey.
No, it's
it
not.
gets peak, it's tough. There are moments where I'm here figuring things out. So to know that there are people out there that show you a level of support, and it's not always coming from a place where they want something from you, or I'll do this for you, can you do this, but it's just genuine. And I'm like, you know what, I want more of those connections, and I also want to get to a point to where I can also pay it forward myself with other people. So when I get opportunities to do something or to do more, I absolutely take them. But coming up to the personal brand, I was giving examples of Stephen Bartlett, I was giving examples of Russell Brand and Joe Rogan. If you've noticed, these guys were well versed in other fields as well, but their biggest growth, or the biggest thing where they monetize, has been their podcasts.
Yeah.
And it's for the reason why you've said, because you can get an essence of who they actually are. It's not the podcast, it's the person.
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Right? And they just use the podcast as a vehicle to kind of, direct people to different things of what they do. If it's Stephen Bartlett, it's almost like a springboard for like brands, all the things that he's got going on, energy drinks, this fuel. I've forgotten what the other one is, but he's done that so well. And I know it's not everybody that will get what he's doing, but that is literally branding 101, and how somebody can take a personal brand and turn that into a brand that they monetize. What Joe Rogan did, he's one of the first people, he's nothing short of amazing. He built that brand over, I think, a 10 to 11 year period. The first 5 to 6 years, he was just pouring money in, investing, wasn't making much money. And even when he did, it was just enough to sustain him. It's not only until Spotify came knocking on the door with 200 million after about 11 years, when people could see like, oh my God, you can actually take the essence of who you are and use that as a vehicle to connect with people. Because that's how I look at it. So if you look at the podcast, you're looking at the wrong thing. Look at you and say, you know what, how can I tap into who I am as myself, what I'm interested in, what I'm aligned with, what my values are, and how do I then present that to the world as a way to connect with them? It will connect. Why? Because it's true to who you are. And that's why these people have managed to connect. If you see Russell, his podcast is Russell.
Yeah, it's just.
I will go to him because he's Russell Brand. It's not just okay. Yes, there'll be some things that he says, but I just love the guy, the character. It's the same. These different things that you may go to, because they give you something different. It almost comes back to your jeans, the jeans and the jacket and the shirt. Those are different things, and sometimes you do want something different.
Yeah. Right.
So you are unique to yourself. If you do well to present that to the world, that can actually be your connection point for everything else that you have, moving forward.
Well, look, I think it's also the same with the industries that we're in. I mean, you're not the only audiovisual expert in the area, in the chamber, or things like that, but you're the one that I get on with. And absolutely. I think it's the same with us, with our company. There's how many web companies in the world, you got to knock on one in this building probably. So
mate,
they're just everywhere. Yeah, exactly. So, but then it's what makes it different by working with us versus working with somebody else. And I think we've lost a few quotes over the 2 years, of course, where we can't get everything we've put forward, and sometimes that's either down to price or it's down to just whether or not we're the right fit. And actually, funnily enough, we nearly didn't work with one client because we were worried that the way that they work may not fit in the way that we work. And sometimes you've got to remember that as well.
Absolutely.
Me and Dan had a couple of conversations about it, because it's one of those things, it's like, look, it's a decent client, so the question is, do we forego our morals or the way that we work as a company to work with them, or do we just stipulate our working conditions and the way that we work as a business, the skateboard analogy and all that sort of stuff, And actually we went back to them and said, look, we really want to work with you on this project, but this is how we work. And if you agree to it, then that's wonderful, because we really want to work with you. And they were like, yeah, actually, because it's all about the points of contact. So, for example, for us, we want to work with 1 or 2 points of contact within a business. We don't need it to go to 16 different people who talk about, this button isn't right, or that bit's wrong, and 16 chefs into this pot of whatever. And actually, they came back and said, no, you'll literally deal with the marketing person and the main man. And we were like, that's great. And then it's turned out to be one of our largest clients. Yeah. So it's just remembering to also be true to yourself as well, as I think, as a business, because yes, there are other companies out there and people will go work with other businesses, and that's great, but I'm also not precious in the fact that, if we don't get a site, or if we don't work with someone in our network and they go somewhere else, I don't get offended by it. There's enough business for everybody, and I think you just got to make sure you work the right way, you're decent at what you do, you always do the right thing when it comes to business. And we've gone over and above for some projects which have actually potentially lost us a few pounds by doing that, but we got the outcome and a good rapport, or a good ripple of referral, or I think people in the network actually think we're an okay business to work with. So I'd rather have that than millions of pounds in the bank, as it were.
Now, I'll agree with you, and you know what you're actually doing there? You're safeguarding the rest of your other clients, because if you have one nightmare client that doesn't understand your values, the things that they're going to bring could actually derail all your other projects that you've got. So by setting those boundaries, I think it's good for both. And again, this is a conversation that came up when I was speaking to the youngs, to say, for me, for each consultation, this is why I hardly do online bookings. I have to speak to the person, figure out what they're trying to do, so that I can determine whether or not I can deliver for them. Because if for any reason I'm not able to deliver, I'm always happy to refer, because as you've said, there are about 10 other people that do what I have to do. So if I can't deliver for this particular person, or we don't work similarly, I am more than happy to kind of guide the person to somebody that I feel will be able to deliver for them. That way, I'm not wasting their time. Correct. They're not wasting my time. Also, I'm not putting the reputation of my business at risk, because if I take on a project where it's out of my or for whatever reason I'm not able to deliver, then it just puts my reputation at risk, and I don't like wasting people's time. So I try and be as clear as possible in terms of what you said, how we work, boundaries, and then also figure out what the client is looking to do, kind of bring some sobriety as well to the proceedings, and ask them, have you thought about this? Are you sure you have enough information? Have you considered this? I actually will suggest, I think this could work out better. What do you think? And that kind of thing. And then most times we kind of come to a general consensus. So by the time we're coming to press record on any of this, the client is fully well versed on what they're doing. They don't come and sit down and they're clueless and they're trying to figure. We figure it all out before we even sat down. Hence why then that reflects on the quality of the product, because people are not coming here feeling nervous or jittery or like they don't know what they do. We need to figure out, if you don't know what you're doing, maybe you're not ready for the services. So I would rather you kind of take your time, do your research, figure it out first, come see me so that we both know what we're doing. Then it's a positive outcome for both parties.
Yeah, and I think that's it for the ongoing relationship as well. I think you've got to start it right, otherwise it's a short relationship.
Absolutely,
Business, if you don't do it right at the start,
they're not gonna come back. But speaking of which, I know we're keeping this brief. We need to do this again. Next time. Today is Podmatic on the Brandcast hosting Evolve Your Digital. However, next time it will be David doing his own thing.
I think we'll get
Dan, right?
well. I think
that's what I'm saying.
Dan adds a lot to the.
So we'll sit down. In fact, we'll have a discussion on how we want to do it. It might not even be this format. It might be different. It will be your own, as I was saying. I could be a guest, or it might be somebody else. But I'm more than happy to put something together for you guys, your way, and then make it something that's more true, to you, which is like on brand with what you're doing. But I think that would be great as well. Quickly, award season coming up. How are you feeling about that?
How long we got? We've got 8 days. 8 days, isn't it? We've got 8 days, So we're both nominated for Young Business. Well, finalists we're the last 2 finalists shortlisted for Young Business of the Year. and I've said this to anyone, I think I'll put it on LinkedIn as well. Look, at the end of the day, you've got a great little business here, we've got a great little business, and whoever wins has to buy the other one a pint. No, has to.
I don't mind. Listen,
no, I've said this. I said, look, if you win, I think it'd be amazing if you won as well. So give you confidence and in that what you're doing, and you've got a great setup here. If anybody's not been, you need to get down here because it's just so relaxing. I didn't know how I'd feel about going on camera and stuff like that, but I didn't shy away from it. So
all right, and you come now. You've been so good. I was saying, you guys have been around. I think slightly longer than I have. You absolutely are killing it. You've got a great business together. For me, for my business, the fact that I've been nominated and I've been put in the same class as you, I feel like that's a win, right?
Yeah,
I do feel like that's a win, even with any other nominations that we've got. So I always say, gratitude is important to acknowledge and to realize. So to me, for my business, that is a milestone. To win would be a great thing. But I was even saying, again, I was having a discussion with my wife, and I was saying to her, you know what? I believe in God. I feel like God is telling me, don't miss the point. There's something that's happened here that is very important. That don't be too seeking so much glory that you miss it, right? Because you might miss what's happening. There's something that's already happened here. Acknowledge it, see it, and embrace it for what it is, and don't miss the mark thinking too much about, oh my God, well, what if I'm like, I am with, and it's not even one of those, just happy with the nomination because I don't want it. No, it would be great to win, but at the same time, this is a milestone, and for us as a business, I'm celebrating 2 nominations now, right?
Yeah, so we've had 2, haven't we? Yeah,
in our first year. So for you, it couldn't have been a better person that would be in the same group with. If you win, I feel like I'm winning, and if I win, you feel like you're winning, and there's more to come in terms of what we're going to do in terms of content creation, but also just in general. I think business-wise, networking, I think there's so much more.
Yeah, we're definitely advocates, aren't we? We talked about that the other day. I think there's the referral triangle, isn't there? The top peak of it is the advocate stage, and I think at the end of the day, I'm confident in the knowledge that if you're out and about talking about digital and I'm out and about talking about audio-visual, you're going to refer each other out. Yeah, and I think that's the way it should be, really. You should have a select few experts around you and that you feel comfortable referring to. And as I say, because you've got the setup, I don't think I've ever seen anything like it. It's brilliant. It's like it's like a living room in IKEA.
I know, right? Just somebody saying interior design. Exactly.
I'm like, she kitted this place out for you, that woman. Is that part of the deal?
No. So, thank you. It's me that did it very quickly because I know you've got another engagement to go to. The Chamber. Right? I wanted us to touch on quickly. Obviously, we've got my conference coming. There's awards coming up next week, which we're looking forward to. But then there's also my conference coming up very quickly. In fact, I'm going to do my best to chop this up in a short of us talking. I've been going to my conference. I've been to a number of them. That's where we met, right?
Huddersfield, wasn't it?
Yeah. Huddersfield. To me, it's...
Wakefield, was it?
Wakefield
last year.
Yeah.
I think it was the first one when it was on 3 floors and we were in a little rat race.
Oh, yeah. That's there,
So that's this one this year in October.
Yes. So for me, there's so many amazing businesses there, right? And the Chamber itself, got a really good relationship with them. Emma, Rachel, communicating with them all the time. So, guys, join us at the next My Conference. I'm not sure on
October
what date
23rd.
it is. October 23rd. So I'm going to be putting this out in a show to encourage. But for yourself, what are some of the things that, especially for people that can come and benefit from it quickly?
Well, the first one, I think it's at Wakefield. Is it Trinity?
Yes. It's actually in Wakefield.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
So it's at the new stadium, or the new seating part of the stadium, and it's all in one room this time. And I think there's about 60 exhibitors. I think.
Oh wow.
They said.
Yeah.
And I just really like the Chamber. I think there's a nice vibe to it. They've got some good regular events. Emma and Rachel work really hard.
Absolutely.
To try and drum up people to attend and things like that. And I think for the investment, the Chamber is a decent investment as a business, as a small business, just as a whole for the membership. They provide a lot of extra benefits as well. So I'm again an advocate for that. I think we're looking forward to exhibiting there as well, and obviously seeing you. And we'll have known who's won them, won't we?
I know, right? Oh my God! I can't look at you,
I'm
David.
not competitive at all, but if we're not being very disappointed. No,
I know, right? I won't be able to look you in the face for at least 2 weeks. One last thing as well, I want to bring another award. I've been nominated for the Wakefield Business Awards coming up very soon. That's on the 7th of November. Really excited for that as well, because there are quite a number of exciting businesses that are part of that. The people that organize it, Claire Sutherley, absolutely amazing. Been building that relationship for over a year. So to be nominated in digital creative field, I forgot the whole title of the award, but digital creative. Yeah, nice. You know, when I applied for that one, I was just like, mate, I'm begging it here, aren't I? Yeah. I didn't even expect I might get nominated. So again, it comes back to there are 4 really good companies in that category as well, like serious play. So to be in that class, again, I was saying, listen, I'm going to be plastering that on my website, like nominated for digital, a finalist. So to me, I mean, for my business, man, it's so great. So for this year, I think it's just been.
I think 2 awards in the first year or 18 months is amazing. We've done the same. We're about the same. 2 in 18 months. We were nominated for another award earlier on in the year, which we got finalists, but we didn't quite win. But again, just to be recognised as
that's the word.
It. Yeah, I think it's just to be recognised as a fully fledged business is part of it. Especially when you're starting out, it's just we are a business. We are actually. There are some clients. Yeah.
So, it is getting there.
So and I think as you hit your second and third year, I think that's where you start like flexing your sort of work muscles. That's why we're rejigging our site. We changed our strapline to evolving your business digitally. So that's exactly what we do. That's what we try and do. So it says what it does on what it says on the tin. Yeah,
absolutely.
On the soon to be new website when it eventually comes.
Yeah, listen, I'm looking forward to the website coming out.
Me too,
and seeing everything that you guys are doing. You, as I said, you're already doing absolutely amazingly. The way you work, I think you as a character, David. Absolutely amazing the way you are with what you are, the brand, you and your business partner, seeing you guys even at the, as I said, Mid Yorkshire Chamber, the way you guys are just warm, welcoming, and that kind of thing. And I think it shows if you continue that way in business, not even if you continuing that way in business is what's really going to carry you.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We're growing each year, which is good.
Yeah.
And we've launched a new monthly model and stuff like that, but we won't go into that now. We'll probably talk about that when it's our podcast. So I don't want to take your stuff away. It's all about you today, innit? So but thanks for having us on. I've really enjoyed it, and
I have too, man.
I'm looking forward to the next instalment.
Absolutely, I was saying it hasn't even felt like a pod. It just felt like a chat with friends.
Just having a coffee.
Yeah, it could have been even more chattier, you know. But obviously we've got things to go to.
Yeah.
Great brandcast. I have done a couple of other what I could call brandcasts, but I think this one has been the most on message. It might be changing around the format, but the whole point is just to keep it casual and for me to get an opportunity to kind of showcase a little bit of my personality as well, as well as my friends that I get on with that are in business and that are building amazing brands. So I always say, Brandcast, we love brands, and what we're going to do is showcase them. And when I talk about brands, I'm talking about products, services, and personalities too, because people can have personal brands. So having them on there, discussing their journeys and how they're doing it. But guys, thank you so much for joining us. Till next time, we'll catch you later.
Thanks.